Athens area residents are now able to use their medical marijuana card close to home. The Cleveland mayor loses a family member in a shooting. And in sports, Ohio hockey has a new head coach this season. Newswatch starts right now. Good evening and welcome to Newswatch, your source for news impacting southeastern Ohio. I'm Ben Schwartz. Athens' first medical marijuana dispensary is open for business. Harvest of Ohio held its grand opening this morning, hosting Athens residents including Mayor Steve Patterson and City Council President Christine Nisley. Today's grand opening included a prayer and ribbon cutting before allowing pre-approved guests to tour the facility. Harvest's Athens location is the company's second dispensary to open, and CEO Arian Kirkpatrick believes it's a prime spot for their second branch.
And I thought Athens would be a good location. I thought it would be a place where I can relate because the Black community and the Appalachian community have a lot in common. We talked earlier about the war on drugs that the Black community went through, and now the war on drugs that the Appalachian community is going through. Everybody's going through it, and it affects so many of us. So it's something that I think that is important that we concentrate on.
Kirkpatrick says she hopes this new location can help build Harvest of Ohio's momentum, expanding access to patients in Athens and surrounding areas. Ohio's unemployment rate continues to sit at 5.4%, as the state reports 5,000 new unemployed workers. The Columbus Dispatch reports the state's new number of unemployed workers is right around 305,000. This comes as nearly 2,500 jobs were cut in Ohio last month. Nationally, the U.S. added 235,000 jobs last month, with Ohio following suit in the nation's slow gains throughout August. The Athens County League of Women Voters is hosting a candidate forum tomorrow for Athens at-large city council candidates. The forum will be an opportunity for Athens residents to question the candidates before the November 4th general election. It's the first of many local forums scheduled for the coming weeks. Set to be held virtually over Zoom, the League of Women Voters will have a stream available at facebook.com/LWV Athens County. Again, that's facebook.com/LWV Athens County at 7 p.m. tomorrow.
With a first look at your weather. Right now in Athens, it is 81 degrees with humidity at around 52%. If you look across the region right now, it's going to be in the 80s right now, with some areas reaching the upper 70s as rain moves into the region from the west. A look at this week, we're going to be seeing cloudy skies overnight with rain chances increasing throughout the day tomorrow. And we could be seeing cooler weather into next week. Now back to Ben.
Thank you, Henry. Columbus community activists are asking the U.S. Justice Department to investigate the Columbus police. This comes after the announcement that the DOJ will provide technical assistance to the police department. Activists say the assistance isn't enough to reduce the number of fatal police shootings of Black people. If the Justice Department decides to launch an investigation, it could lead to court-ordered oversight. In Cincinnati, the community mourns the loss of victims after a shooting. Jake Ryle has more.
Saturday night, a gathering family and friends of Edwards never expected to have. He was one of 3 men shot and killed in Pendleton Saturday morning. Less than 24 hours following the shooting, many coming to grips with the loss. As dozens came to show their support at a vigil, family members didn't want to speak on camera, but did want their message heard loud and clear. Edward's grandmother, emotional, hoping to light a fire in young men at the vigil, saying real men don't go around shooting, and that living a life on the streets isn't worth it. Others spoke, hoping to come together and to get away from guns.
It's time to change, y'all. It's time to change.
His family says Edwards was a graduate of Hillcrest Academy. His grandmother tells me he was smart, and she doesn't know why he went down the path that he did, ending in gun violence. Following the vigil, she showed me a picture of Edwards as a boy, telling me that's how she wants to remember him. As this group of family and friends now has to let go of a loved one they say was taken too soon. Jake Ryle, WCPO 9 News.
Across the state, Cleveland's mayor is mourning the loss of a family member after a fatal shooting. Police are still working out the details.
We know officers were called to East 70th Street and Sidaway Avenue around 9:15 Sunday night. The department did confirm Frank Q. Jackson was shot and had died, but didn't offer any information about what happened in the moments before the shooting or anything about a suspect. Police did take several pieces of evidence from a dumpster at the scene. They also took a red dirt bike. Around 11 p.m., Cleveland Mayor Frank Jackson was on scene with Police Chief Calvin Williams. He left after midnight. The 24-year-old has been the subject of several criminal investigations in the last few years. His first felony charge came in 2017. He pleaded not guilty to charges he faced after a police pursuit in Parma at the beginning of the year.
Nearby, some members of a Cleveland area community say they've been left concerned and deeply traumatized. The University Heights Orthodox Jewish community says the city posted a private investigator in front of their residential synagogue during one of the holiest times of the year. It's a legal fight that's been going on since 2019 over the safety of a residential synagogue the city of University Heights says is operating outside city and state building code. Joe Paganakis reports the city's mayor says his efforts to monitor the synagogue is only about the safety of the residents.
For quite a while, which, it's a pretty scary thing because there are kids around.
Heidi Denzinger is a member of the Alexander Shul or synagogue operating here in this University Heights residential neighborhood for the past 10 years, but says her community was given a scare at the beginning of Rosh Hashanah services on September 7th when the city posted a private investigator in front of the shul to count and make sure services didn't exceed the agreed upon limit of 36 people.
Especially in Jewish history, we have had so many people that want to harm us and not to know, just even not to know why a car is standing outside.
Synagogue members confirmed this lawsuit and restraining order filed by the city against the owners of the shul this summer. The city says current zoning and state law doesn't allow a synagogue of this size in a residential area. But synagogue members say they have responded to the city's requirements and that posting a private investigator on the Jewish New Year to check compliance caused a panic.
It caused great distress to everybody because, we thought we were under attack or something. There's somebody like spying on us.
Deeply traumatized by this incident.
Rabbi Eric Frank expressed his concerns during a September 9th city council meeting that had some council members apologizing and saying they didn't approve of the city hiring a private investigator. University Heights Mayor Michael Dillon Brennan says he has immense respect for the Jewish community and says the move was simply about safety.
First of all, this is a house. This is not a commercial building. This is not a house of worship. This house does not fulfill the building standards set forth by the state.
Mayor Brennan says members of the shul continue to break safety protocol while both sides try to reach an agreement.
There are safety issues here. There are fire considerations here. We conducted an administrative search warrant back in April. There were live wires hanging from the ceiling of the house.
Mayor Brennan says he gave advance notice to the Jewish Federation of Cleveland about the private investigator's presence, but the Federation says they were never contacted. The United States are expanding border restrictions, while immigrants are facing issues at those same borders. These stories and more when Newswatch returns.
He was bigger than boxing.
Muhammad Ali was the most important man in the world.
He was larger than life.
His magnetism just was amazing. Who is this guy?
He was a revolutionary. He was a groundbreaker.
What are they gonna say about that now, huh?
Ken Burns captures an intimate story of victory, defeat, and determination.
The price of freedom comes high. I have paid, but I am free.
Muhammad Ali.
Next time on the National Parks. A new leader steps forward to protect America's wild places.
Stephen Mather was the right man in the right place at the right time.
A federal agency is created to watch over the parks. And in Arizona, a fight over the fate of the grandest canyon on Earth. As the National Parks continues.
Now, it's even easier to stay connected with WOUB Public Media. Receive the latest news, watch your favorite programs live or on demand, and listen to podcasts or live radio everywhere you go using the WOUB Public Media app. And you'll get to carry me, WOUB radio announcer Robin Barnes, around with you all day. The app is available to download free on iOS and Android. Just search for WOUB.
This month in Passport on the PBS Video app, your on-demand library for the best of PBS.
What are you doing here?
Frankie Drake, private detective. I'm investigating a murder.
Ted opened up 70 donut shops.
They call me Donut King.
He gave Cambodian refugees a chance in America.
You really are stealing a frame out of life and saying, this is worth 1,000 words.
These and other shows from your PBS station are available with Passport on the PBS Video app. Download it today.
The U.S. has extended its non-essential ground travel restrictions with Canada and Mexico. White House COVID-19 response coordinator Jeff Zients says the border bans will extend through October 21st. The policies don't apply to some, including people who travel for educational or medical reasons. Cross-border trade and air travel between the countries are also allowed. The White House announced it plans to ease travel restrictions on all fully vaccinated foreign visitors starting in November. Migrants on the Texas border are facing different problems than COVID-19 restrictions. After faulty border advice, Haitian immigrants are camping in Del Rio, Texas. The Department of Defense says it will help move migrants who have gathered to other customs and border protection processing facilities. Thousands of undocumented people have created a makeshift camp under the Del Rio International Bridge. Over the next month, officials say the DoD will provide transport and supplement CBP efforts. They're expected to wrap on or before October 20th. Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas traveled to Del Rio today for a briefing.
We are very concerned that Haitians who are taking this irregular migration path are receiving false information that the border is open or that temporary protected status is available. I want to make sure that it is known that this is not the way to come to the United States. That is false information.
U.S. Customs and Border Protection plan to surge 600 agents and officers to the Del Rio sector. The American Red Cross and World Central Kitchen are helping provide supplies and meals. A Customs and Border Protection employee was arrested during the weekend's rally in support of the January 6th U.S. Capitol riots. Saturday, protesters gathered near the Capitol building in honor of those charged in the insurrection. Authorities have not said why the CBP employee was arrested, nor if the person had a connection to the Justice for J6 rally. The CBP says the employee was not at the rally on official duty during the time of the arrest. The agency says it is cooperating with the investigation. According to Capitol Police, 4 people are facing charges in connection to Saturday's rally. A local program will deliver coffee to your doorstep. That story's still ahead.
We're going to be seeing cooler weather later this week. I'll let you know more in my full forecast coming up. Now a look at stocks of local interest.
Mr. Bojangles.
The great Sammy Davis Jr. triumphed despite all the odds.
I'm colored, Jewish, and Puerto Rican.
When I move into a neighborhood, I wipe it out.
Sammy Davis Jr.'s whole life was about confronting obstacles.
Mr. Bojangles.
But he had a vision for himself that was bigger than white or black.
1, 2, 3.
Look for the legendary Sammy Davis Jr. on American Masters.
Humans are dangerous creatures, but if you keep them well fed, they're far less dangerous.
Welcome. Patrick was in the forefront of an evolution. Look how pretty that scallop is.
It's either art or garbage. Right now, we're focused on that ultimate acknowledgement. Michelin 3 stars.
We all want 3 stars this year.
He was bigger than boxing.
Muhammad Ali was the most important man in the world.
He was larger than life.
His magnetism just was amazing. Who is this guy?
He was a revolutionary. He was a groundbreaker.
What are they gonna say about that now, huh?
Ken Burns captures an intimate story of victory, defeat, and determination.
The price of freedom comes high. I have paid, but I am free.
Muhammad Ali.
Next time on the National Parks, a new leader steps forward to protect America's wild places.
Stephen Mather was the right man in the right place at the right time.
A federal agency is created to watch over the parks. And in Arizona, a fight over the fate of the grandest canyon on Earth. As the National Parks continues.
Back to Newswatch. We're going to be taking a look at the visible satellite. As you can see, we have ample moisture moving from the Gulf of Mexico into the Ohio Valley. That's why it's been very cloudy most of the day. Behind that, we have a cold front that will be moving through the region tomorrow and into Wednesday. Right now, the cold front is through Texas up into Wisconsin, and we'll be seeing that move through tomorrow. Tonight it's going to be cool, down to 70 degrees by midnight. It's going to be very muggy, and we could see some isolated showers at around 8 a.m. But after that, chances of showers will diminish down to 0. Tonight it's going to be down to 65, cloudy. Winds will be calmer than earlier, down to 5 miles per hour out from the south. Looking at the surface analysis for tomorrow, that cold front will be making its way into the Ohio Valley, and we will see our precipitation increase. And behind that is a high pressure that will also follow behind the cold front. Tomorrow morning, we'll see scattered showers with a chance at around 30%, but by noon, it'll be a little bit warmer, up to 70 degrees, with rain chances increasing into the afternoon. The high for tomorrow will be 76. Rain chances will increase in the late afternoon up to 60%, and winds will be out from the southeast at around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Looking at the week ahead, it's going to be in the mid-70s through Wednesday, 76 tomorrow with a chance of rain. As the cold front again moves past our area Wednesday, rain chances will increase up to 90%, and the temperatures will quickly dip down to 49 degrees Wednesday night, and we could even see mid to low 40s Thursday. Temperatures will slowly increase Friday into Monday, 74 by Monday. A slight chance of showers on Saturday, but nothing too bad. The weekend is going to look really nice with temperatures in the low 70s and morning temperatures down into the upper 40s. Fall is definitely back, and it is going to be looking nice through next week. Now over to Ben.
Thank you, Henry. Some mornings, getting up and going to the local cafe can be hard. Nick Veland reports a local business is bringing the cafe to customers' front door. Apologies, we are having some issues with Nick Veland's story. We're going to hear from Ethan going into sports.
Good evening. Coming up in sports, Ohio volleyball, field hockey, and soccer were all in action on a busy weekend for Bobcat athletics. Find out which teams came out on top later on. And after the break, Ohio hockey has a new head coach. How he and his team are preparing for the upcoming season next on Newswatch. Now, here's a look at what's coming up on your public television station.
This month in Passport on the PBS Video app, your on-demand library for the best of PBS.
What are you doing here?
Frankie Drake, private detective. I'm investigating a murder.
Ted opened up 70 donut shops.
They call me Donut King.
He gave Cambodian refugees a chance in America.
You really are stealing a frame out of life and saying, this is worth 1,000 words.
These and other shows from your PBS station are available with Passport on the PBS Video app. Download it today.
Next time on the National Parks, a new leader steps forward to protect America's wild places.
Stephen Mather was the right man in the right place at the right time.
A federal agency is created to watch over the parks. And in Arizona, a fight over the fate of the grandest canyon on Earth. As the National Parks continues.
Humans are dangerous creatures, but if you keep them well fed, they're far less dangerous.
Welcome. Patrick was in the forefront of an evolution. Look how pretty that scallop is.
It's either art or garbage. Right now, we're focused on that ultimate acknowledgement. Michelin 3 stars.
We all want 3 stars this year.
Mr. Bojangles.
The great Sammy Davis Jr. triumphed despite all the odds.
I'm colored, Jewish, and Puerto Rican. When I move into a neighborhood, I wipe it out.
Sammy Davis Jr.'s whole life was about confronting obstacles.
Mr. Bojangles.
But he had a vision for himself that was bigger than white or black.
1, 2, 3.
Look for the legendary Sammy Davis Jr. on American Masters.
Hello again, everyone. I'm Ethan Sargent. The Ohio Bobcat hockey team begins their season this Friday against John Carroll. This will be the first game for new head coach Lionel Marone. Joe Collins reports that the Bobcats' new leader is ready to go.
Ohio hockey head coach Lionel Marone worked with his squad Saturday in front of fans for the team's annual green and white scrimmage. Only a few days earlier, Marone was announced as the 15th head coach in Ohio hockey history, a role he says he is ready to take on.
Means a ton. Obviously, I believe I proved myself last year, and they believe in me. We have a good relationship, and they trust that I can help them get where they want to go. So to me, I'm really excited.
Marone takes over the Bobcats program after their first losing season since 1987. With that in mind, Marone says setting clear expectations for the team on and off the ice will help the team bounce back.
Coaching in college, I think we want to develop hockey players, not only on the ice, but also in the classroom and in our community. I want to bring the program to the people of Athens, be more involved in our community. For the team itself, if you play for Ohio, you want to win a national championship, and that's the goal every year. So this year's no different.
Marone was a graduate assistant with the team just last year while working to get a degree in coaching education. Now at the helm of one of Ohio's most popular sports clubs, he understands what is expected of him as head coach.
I think the hockey duties are pretty much the same, but running the operations and being involved in the community and all that work takes a lot of time, but it's exciting. I'm really happy to be in this role, and I think we're going to do great things, even though my days are pretty busy now.
For Newswatch, I'm Joe Collins in Athens, Ohio.
Marone will look to get a win Friday night when the Bobcats open their season against John Carroll. Bernardino will be open at 50% capacity to start the season, and masks will be required. The Ohio volleyball team, led by new head coach Jeff Carlston, are struggling to replicate the success of last season. The Bobcats look to compete for a MAC title this year after a 12-8 season this spring. However, Ohio has stumbled out of the gates this season after the loss of Vera Giacomazzi and other key seniors. The team sits at 0-11, having been swept in 6 of those matches. The Bobcats open up MAC play against Toledo on Friday. The Ohio field hockey team looked to right the ship Sunday after a heartbreaking double overtime loss in their last game. Unfortunately for the Bobcats, they dropped a close one, 2-1 to St. Francis. Caitlin Whittle scored her 6th goal of the season, but Eva Valentini scored twice for the Red Flashes, including the winner with 4 minutes left. The team heads back to Athens on Friday to take on Ball State. Ohio soccer looked to keep their momentum going after winning their last game. But that momentum came to a screeching halt in North Carolina as the Bobcats were thrashed 3-0 by Western Carolina on Sunday. The Bobcats managed 5 shots on goal, but none hit the back of the net. Ohio returns home on Thursday to face Buffalo in their first taste of MACtion this season. I'm Ethan Sargent, and that's all for sports. Back over to you, Ben.
Thanks, Ethan. You may want to take a look up to the sky before going to bed Monday nights. The harvest moon, the full moon closest to our autumn equinox, will make its debut. According to NASA, during the few days surrounding the harvest moon's appearance, the moonrise will occur within just 25 to 30 minutes across the northern United States and only 10 to 20 minutes in northern Canada and Europe. According to earthsky.org, it's the location of the moon near the horizon that causes the harvest moon to appear big and orange in color. The hunter's moon usually arrives in October. And now let's head back to Henry for a final look at the weather.
Hello, I'm forecaster Henry Groff with a final look at your weather. Looking at across the region for tomorrow, it's going to be in the mid to upper 70s as we see rain coming in tomorrow, keeping our temperatures cooler than this weekend. We're going to be seeing Columbus at 79, New Lexington at 76, Athens at 76, Ripley, Ironton, and Marietta will be up in the upper 70s as they'll still see some sunshine before going all over to cloudy skies tomorrow. Upper areas are going to be in the upper 70s in Columbus and Newark. We're going to be seeing rain out from the west and moving towards the east into the late afternoon. Now back over to Ben.
Thanks, Henry. And that does it for our broadcast this evening. I'm Ben Schwartz. Thank you for watching. Be sure to stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime at WOUB.org. Have a great night.
Support comes from Dean Heating and Cooling, keeping homes cool all summer with Tempstar. Dean Heating and Cooling provides HVAC service and installation in the Athens area, featuring Tempstar quality you can feel. Support comes from Ohio University's Center for Campus and Community